Hi, this is Harin Lawson, and I have looked into the State of Virginia Board of Counseling on the issue of handling a peer who is impaired or has violated the code of ethics. I could not find just one place which is specifically talk about this, but I had to go into different parts of mental health professionals, such as professional counseling, rehabilitation providers, substance abuse counselors, marriage and family therapist, peer recovery specialist. And after listing all the requirements of becoming a certified and licensed into the profession, very at the end, they explain about such issue and they pretty much say the same thing. They even use the same vocabularies and just depends on which profession the certain words are changed, but they use the same thing to describe this. Um, under under the peer recovery specialist in 18 VAC 115-70-70E. It says, upon learning of evidence that indicates a reasonable probability that another mental health service provider, as defined in 54.1-2400.1 of the Code of Virginia, is or may be guilty of a violation of standards of conduct as defined in statutes or regulation. Persons registered by the board shall advise their clients of the client's right to report such misconduct to the Department of the Health Professions in accordance with 54.1-2400.4 of the Code of Virginia. And under the mental health professionals, says the same thing. It is 8 VAC 115-80-90E. And he says, upon learning the evidence that indicate a reasonable and probability that another mental health service provider, as defined in 54.1-2400.1 in Code of Virginia, is or may be guilty of a violation of standards of conduct as defined in statutes of regulation. Persons registered by the board shall advise their clients of the client's right to report such misconduct to the Department of Health Professions in accordance with 24.1-2400.4 of the Code of Virginia. And the 18 VAC 115-20-130 E says, persons licensed by this board shall report to the board known of suspected violation of the laws and regulations governed the practice of professional counseling. And also 18 VAC 115-40-40 says under B13 says, report to the board known or suspected violation of the law and regulation governing the practice of rehabilitative providers. So all different mental health professionals are advised, it's more than advised, strongly encouraged to report the peers who is practicing impaired or has violated the code of ethics. They make it very clear, and there's no clear regulation on what happens if the professional fails to report the misconduct of a peer in the same profession. The only thing that I could find in here under 18 VAC 115-40-50 is that violation of or aid to another in violating any regulation or statute applicable to the provision of rehabilitation services are grounds for revocation, suspension, probations, reprimand, and the denial of renewal of certificates. And also under 18 VAC 115-20-140, these are all the grounds for, again, revocation, suspension, probation, etc. And under 1, it says conviction of felony or a misdemeanor involving turpitude, a violation of or aid to another in violation any provision of chapter 13 54.1-3500 of title 54.1 of the Code of Virginia, any other statute applicable to the practice of professional counseling or any provision of this chapter. And also number 7 says violating or abetting another person's in the violation of any provision of any statute applicable to the practice of counseling or any part of portion of this chapter. Also under B, it says following the revocation or suspension of a license, the licensee may petition the board for reinstatement upon good cause shown or as a result of substantial new evidence having been obtained that would after the determination reached. So what I learned from all this research is that the, the a professional who have discovered the peer who is impaired or has violated the code of ethics has right to talk to the peers clients to inform them their rights to report such misconduct in their professionalism of their mental health provider. And that was indicated throughout. And also the failing to report can cause the grounds for the revocation, suspension, probation. I mean, it doesn't say clearly if you fail to do it, but it says that a violation of or aid to another violating any provision of this chapter or violating or abetting another person's in violation any provision or any statutes. I'm taking it as not reporting as a neglect. And when I fail to report of such person's misconduct, then I am allowing the person to continue in that unprofessional behavior, which means I am aiding the person of such unprofessional behavior. So I'm understanding that it gives the grounds for such revocation and suspension and probation, etc. So reporting according to what I have learned and studied, reporting such misbehavior to the authority and letting the clients of that person of the client's right to report is very, very important. So I'm always learning something new. And thank you so much for your challenge. Have a blessed day.